All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first ever Zoom Friends and Family call. We are so glad that you could join us. We've got some awesome stories tonight to share with you, our journeys with a great company called Juice Plus. My name is Michala Petersen, and I'm a pharmacist from Minden, Nebraska. And I have 4 kiddos, ages 8, 6, 4, and almost 3. And I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere with my husband, Mark. And we are just so excited to be on this mission of inspiring healthy living. I mentioned before we work for a company called Juice Plus, and our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. So I, was like a lot of other medical professionals and didn't know a lot about nutrition. And that's really sad to me now. In pharmacy school, we got 1 week of nutrition training, and we took that class with the physicians. So we learned to calculate the calories in a protein, a fat, and a carb. And we learned how to feed someone through an IV if they couldn't eat for themselves. So when I was introduced to Juice Plus 2 years ago by a pharmacist friend of mine that I played volleyball with at UNK, I was actually in search of a tower garden. And what a tower garden is it's a 28 you can grow 28 different plants in it. It's a 20-gallon reservoir. And you can have it garden inside or outside. And I loved gardening, but I hated the weeds and the soil, and most importantly, the 4.5-foot bull snakes that go along with gardening in central Nebraska, or at least where we live. So I heard about the tower garden and I was instantly intrigued. And so within one conversation, I went from never having heard of Juice Plus to being a rep for the company. To me, $50 a year to get 30 fruits and vegetables into my kids every single day was priceless. We know that 75% of disease is preventable by what we eat. So a lot of times at night, I went to bed without really knowing that I put the good stuff into my children. And so the fact that we can get Juice Plus for free for our kids is just incredible. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So when I started, though, I did not want to share Juice Plus with anyone. I wanted my family to be on it, and that was about it. And within 3 weeks, we started seeing great results. I had energy that was through the roof. Our 2-year-old that gagged at anything green was asking for salads and eating seconds. Our 4-year-old that struggled with focus was, for the first time in her life, crawling on our lap and asking for us to read her books. And our 8-month-old who needed tubes in her ears, had been on antibiotics off and on all that summer, has never been on an antibiotic since. She never got tubes in her ears. And as a family of 6, we have not had a single sick visit in 2 years, which is so awesome. I mean, everyone wants health for their family. And so to me, it's just priceless. So at that point, I decided I really needed to research what we were putting into our bodies. And so I dove in. And the fact that Juice Plus has 36 published clinical studies to back it up just absolutely blew me away. I mean, it was fruits and vegetables. It didn't make sense to me that it was researched, but I was so glad that it was. And so the first thing I did was message a mom of a kiddo with cancer. And her message back to me was, "How long have you known about this, and why didn't you tell me sooner?" And that's when my heart changed forever. And I didn't know at the time that Juice Plus and the way I was helping people already was going to become my full time. I was very satisfied in the pharmacy. I loved what I did there. But I kind of already had this nagging feeling in my gut that, like when the oil light comes on in your car, you can do one of 2 things. You can find and fix the problem, or you can just unplug the light. And a lot of times I feel like that's what we do, the traditional medicine route. So it's been so much fun for me to be able to help people, empower them to get healthy and stay healthy and get off medications. And that has just been so rewarding. And so little did I know, though, 2 years after we were introduced to Juice Plus, that I would be at the very top of the company, that I would be getting a $70,000 benefits package. I mean, college tuition reimbursement for kids, and health and dental and life and vision and orthodontics. And anyway, I am just blessed beyond measure. So one of the reasons that I am so blessed is that I get to work with some of these amazing women on the line here. So we're going to start off with Kelli Gilbert. And Kelli is just a wealth of information. I just absolutely have loved getting to know Kelli through this journey. And she is a hairdresser and lives in southern Nebraska, kind of about 30 minutes away from where I do. And so, Kelli, will you share a little bit about your story with us?
Yes. Thank you all for joining in on the call tonight. I am a cosmetologist in Blue Hill, and my husband and I have two boys ages 6 and 4. They're very energetic and keep us very busy. I was introduced to Juice Plus by a coworker, actually Piper Kosse, and I began my journey in January of 2016. Piper had been telling me about Juice Plus, and after we had talked about it for a while, I had decided that my family absolutely needed this. My biggest reason for starting was because my 3-year-old at the time was a picky eater and would literally eat mac and cheese for every single meal if we would let him, sadly. So I decided to jump on board as a rep, not knowing that we would fall in love with the product, and I felt selfish not sharing Juice Plus with friends and family. My boys and I first started taking it for about a month, and after us keeping a routine and taking it every night with supper, my husband finally said to me, "You should probably order some of that stuff," he says. And I am starting to feel a little bit left out. I chuckled and ordered his product right away because I did not think this day would ever come. Little did we know we would start noticing great things aside from knowing that we were getting the best nutrition that we could get every day. When we first started, we started noticing things like better sleep, better moods, less sickness. My youngest son's eczema is gone. Our allergies are improving. In fact, my oldest son, we have kind of started weaning him off of his Claritin, and he is just about off of it and has not shown any signs of allergies, which is awesome. And I'm hoping to do that with my youngest one as well. My legs at the end of an 8 to 11 hour day of standing all day long in one spot are the best that they've felt in a long time. I was literally wearing compression socks for 2 years. And I would come home and my legs would just ache at the end of the day. And I have not worn compression socks probably since a month after I started Juice Plus. Because if anybody knows how uncomfortable those are, you'll know why I stopped wearing them when my legs started feeling so good. I was having less headaches. I was probably having 3 to 4 of them a day. And I don't know the last time that I had one or I even had to take ibuprofen. I caught my husband in the produce aisle buying healthy foods one night. We were in the grocery store, which has never happened before. My youngest son started showing a little more focus. Before, he was wired all the time. He still is, but now he takes the time to sit down and listen to instructions and actually sit and listen to an entire book. My 6-year-old didn't eat ready, still loves mac and cheese to Juice Plus. I started training. Couldn't believe my body's ability. The farthest I had previously ran was a 5.
Can you hear her? No. Kelli, you're cutting in and out. Can you, okay, you're muted, just a second.
I just got disconnected. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Can you start where you were saying about your training?
Yes, I was wondering where I left off.
Yeah, you're fine.
I started training for my first half marathon with a good friend of mine in January, and I couldn't believe my body's ability. The farthest I had previously ran was a 5K, and I really honestly, that I wasn't a runner years ago, and just even doing a 5K was huge for me. I was getting off of work from a long day of standing all day and came home to train, and I was running probably 3 to 7 miles on a normal basis. Prior to Juice Plus, there was no way that my legs would have ever been able to do this. So in my eyes, Juice Plus is definitely a win-win. At the end of the day, I can now go to bed with such great peace of mind knowing we have all gotten our nutrition in for the day. Something that has driven me to continue to share Juice Plus is knowing that we can help prevent cancer and disease. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer in December of 2007, who I am so thankful to be able to say is now a survivor. Unfortunately, my husband lost his dad in '99 from lymphoma cancer. My children have never met their grandpa. And so with that being said, sharing Juice Plus one person at a time is such an inspiration for me. Whether they decide to add Juice Plus into their lives or not, it allows me to know that I have tried and hope that they can see how important it is now and for them in their lives long term. I'm very passionate about Juice Plus and plan to continue changing one life at a time. And I'm so thankful that Piper shared Juice Plus with me, and I can't imagine our lives without it. And that pretty much sums my story up. Cancer definitely is in our family, and we really do have to get good nutrition into our bodies to help ourselves to prevent all of this yucky stuff that's in our world right now.
That's right. Oh my gosh, your story is just so powerful. And what I love about your story is kind of the common thread that is throughout your story, which is inflammation. You know, whether it's your son's eczema or your other son not being able to focus, the root of all, or cancer or leg aching or whatever, the root of all of those things is inflammation. And so you can take two bodies with the same exact medication profile, the same lab profile, the same everything, and the one that has the inflammation is the one that is going to have the disease. And so there's nothing better for inflammation than fruits, vegetables, and berries. And so I love that it's just so convenient to do it the way we are. So thank you so much, Kelli, for sharing your awesome story.
You're welcome.
Our next guest, I guess, if you call it, is Piper Kosse. And Piper is a massage therapist that is 8 months pregnant. Yes, she's got 2 little boys already and is going to be welcoming another little boy soon. So thank you for getting on the call with us, contractions and all tonight, Piper. And Piper is just such a sweet soul. She's just so wise. She knows so much about the human body. And she just has had a passion for Juice Plus from the get-go. And anyway, we're so excited to hear her story because it is fantastic. So go ahead, Piper.
How to unmute myself. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Piper. I am 28 years old. I am married to my husband, Ben, and we have 2 boys, Graham, who is 4, and Cohen, who's 2, soon to be 4 and 2. And my Juice Plus journey began about a year ago. I was 1 year post-baby and just experiencing a lot of nutrition depletion. I could tell my body was just depleted, and I knew what I needed to do to get it healthy. I just didn't know how to go about doing it. So throughout all that, I was experiencing daily headaches, migraines. I was exhausted, constipated all the time, not having any kind of irregular bowel movement. And so I just knew there came a point where I was smart enough. I did not want to get back on any antidepressants. I didn't want to take Tylenol. I didn't want to do Miralax. I knew there had to be a better route and a safer route, an all-natural route. And so I began doing a little research. And at that time, I noticed on Facebook, Karisa, who's on the call with us tonight as well, had posted something about whole food, healthy, something, and I just happened to reach out to her actually, and I said, Karisa, I don't know what you're doing, but will you please share it with me? Can this help? And of course, she shot me all the info, and I couldn't resist. It just instantly made sense. So I knew if it was good for me, it had to be good for my kids. So we got started right away. I can honestly say from day one, my headaches have greatly improved, which has been such a blessing. I have dealt with them from the day I can remember. So no more headaches, migraines. It's been great. My energy levels have been wonderful since I have a 4-2 and pregnant, due in 2 weeks, but I really can't complain energy-wise. I'm having regular bowel movements, which has been a blessing as well. As far as my kiddos, my 1-year-old at the time had a twisted gut from irregular bowels as well. He was constantly constipated. And he's also going to the bathroom every day, sleeping better. We've just seen a ton of health improvements. They're happier, healthier. It gives this mama peace of mind. My husband at the time took it because I made him. He didn't have a choice. But he also suffered with colitis. And after one trip to the ER, I said, "We're not doing this anymore. You're taking Juice Plus," and happy he hasn't had a flare up since. And so overall, Juice Plus has not only been a healthy blessing to our family, but I started feeling selfish not sharing it because it's such a gift. And I view Juice Plus as just a gift with a big red bow. And I feel like it's my obligation to at least share it if, when the time comes up. So as a massage therapist, it just fit really natural into my practice as far as everyone's wanting to do better their health. And so every day I just continue to share, and I probably will forever. So
that's awesome. Real quick, Piper, can you just say how your clients are doing now on Juice Plus? I mean, you don't have to tell us the specific stories, but overall, are they healthier, or how have you seen Juice Plus improve your practice as far as how you're able to help people?
well, it's a win-win because, you know, I want everyone to come in to walk out feeling better. And so they walk out feeling better, but now that they're on Juice Plus, they might not need me as often because they're feeling better. They're not having the muscle aches and the cramping and the headaches that they used to have. They love me enough, they still come back every month. But I have noticed, you know, a lot of people aren't having the leg aches and the restless leg syndrome and the daily headaches and some of those things that they were all struggling with. So that's just one more reason to keep on sharing, because each day I hear how good everyone's feeling on it.
That's so good. And the truth is, you know, you can help them all you want from the outside. I mean, that's what you're trained to do, but you can't help what they're putting into their body when they walk out your front door, you know. And so that's where it's so nice to know that they are getting the nutrition that they need to help themselves heal, right? So that's the ultimate goal. So thank you so much for sharing, Piper. It's been a pleasure. And our final speaker is Miss Karisa Halpine. And Karisa and I have been best friends since first grade. And we had always heard that this business is way more fun if you have a buddy. And so Karisa didn't really have a choice. When I was introduced to Juice Plus, I kind of knew her story and her history with her boys and the stress in her life. And I called her and said, hey, I've heard that you need a buddy in the business. I pick you. We're going all the way, so jump on the train, you know. And I'm not going to speak for you, Karisa, but it's been the time of our lives, in my opinion. We have met just the most amazing community, the most just genuine, good-hearted, positive people. And so it's just been such an eye-opening experience for two small-town girls to be able to have this whole world open to us. So, Karisa, share your story with us, will you?
Sure. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for being on this Zoom call tonight. And my name is Karisa Halpine, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm a fitness instructor here in Grand Island, Nebraska, and am married to Stan. And we have 3 boys, Brock, who's 8, Bowden, 5.5, and Baylor, who's 12 weeks. And like Michala said, when she introduced Juice Plus, it would have been me and my 2 boys at the time. I was at a little bit more fragile point in my life with being a single mom, and just, you know, really striving to do the absolute best that I could for the little guys. And I just remember the phone call vividly when Michala called me up and shared Juice Plus with me, and I really thought it was too good to be true, honestly. 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule, or a soft chew form, and kiddos are able to eat for free, you know, between the ages of 4 and 18, and full-time college kids. And, you know, little did I know when Michala introduced this to me that this would really be what I would be waking up passionately about every single day from there on. So that's a huge blessing in itself. But she also knew that my little guys were sick all the time. And what I mean by that is, you know, your typical, you know, chronic coughing and your ear infections and runny noses. And it was the vicious cycle of, you know, when kiddos get sick, one gets sick, the other one gets it, they miss school, mom work. You know, you're going to the doctor's office and paying ungodly amounts there, and flooding your kiddos' bodies with antibiotics. And it was a struggle. And we were at the doctor's office every other month at the minimum. And so she was aware of that. And I thought, you know, you never know unless you try. It's just fruits and vegetables. I trust my best friend. She's a credible pharmacist. You know, what the heck, $50 a year, no minimums, no quotas, no inventory, like Michala mentioned. I wasn't out of anything. And to be able to be on this journey, or pressured into this journey, as Michala said earlier, no, you know, I couldn't do anything wrong. So I said sure. And within 2 weeks of, now before I go into my story a little bit more, I didn't want to share it with anybody. And like Piper mentioned, like she was starting to feel selfish not sharing it. But at the end of the day, it was just the most important thing for me, knowing that my boys and I were getting the best nutrition possible, and that was it. And so 2 weeks with starting Juice Plus, I was experiencing a lot more energy. And, you know, like all of us moms strive for, we need as much as we can in this crazy busy world with our kiddos. And within 3 to 4 months, I was noticing that Brock and Bowden weren't getting their typical sicknesses or illnesses like they usually would have been. And fast forward with the over 2 years, I should say, we've been to the doctor twice and have had 1 antibiotic instead of 1 every other month. So that to me has been a huge blessing and the best insurance policy as a mom that I can give my family. And so with that, the Juice Plus also offers, it offers the capsules and soft chews. So that's the phytonutrition. It offers the complete protein, which is a plant protein, and it's the complete protein. So that's the macronutrition, and that's just as important to get the right kind of macronutrition into our bodies as the micronutrition, which is the Juice Plus. And so with just adding the one simple change of the Juice Plus and the complete, I'm an avid runner as well. And I was averaging about an 8:30-minute mile for, a half marathon distance. And just by adding the one simple change of that, I was able to shave off a minute per mile. So I was averaging about a 7:30 minute per mile for that distance. And that was nothing but an absolute blast. But really that's the research speaking volumes. Diminishing oxidative stress on the body and increasing cardiovascular health, and with the kiddos, the immune systems and the bioavailability studies, knowing that it's getting into it's healing our body at the cellular level. And it's huge. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of my story, guys. I also, like I said, I had no intention on sharing this with a soul, honestly, but knowing what we know now and how this has been such a catalyst in our health, I feel, along with these other girls on the team, that a moral obligation to at least be the messenger for people to at least know about it, and with what they decide to do about it is, completely up to them. But, it's just been, all of it has just been a huge, huge blessing. And I'm so grateful every single day that Michala called me up over 2 years ago and shared Juice Plus. So
can you talk, Karisa, I know you had a very successful Juice Plus pregnancy. Can you talk about that a little bit, and nursing?
Yeah.
Than your other pregnancies?
Yep. So Brock and Bowden were not Juice Plus babies, obviously. Baylor, who's 12 weeks old, is a Juice Plus baby. And Stan and I felt really confident going into this pregnancy, using Juice Plus as our sole prenatal. And the reason why we chose that is because Juice Plus, like Michala mentioned, has 36 clinical research studies done on it. And there's not a prenatal that we are aware of that has a study done on it, and is, especially being bioavailable. Juice Plus is bioavailable and has research to show that. And so that was just, I don't know, it's just been a lot of fun knowing that Baylor was getting, the 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries just like I was. And it was a super healthy pregnancy. I had, I was feeling like I had more energy in the 3rd trimester than I do not pregnant, really. And the glow of my skin, and just how everything it was just excellent foundational health. And then with nursing, and with being active and being in the fitness world, and, I've had no concern of milk supply depleting or any of that. And it's just been excellent I don't know, excellent nutrition for not only me, but for him too. So
that's awesome. And Karisa gained only 4 pounds in the whole pregnancy.
No, I've gained a lot more than 4 pounds. But the cool thing about it, though, I do have to say, compared to the other 2 pregnancies, is I've never felt so nutritionally fit.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And we've tossed around the word bioavailable, and that's kind of a fancy word to mean that it gets into the bloodstream and does what it says it's going to do. So Karisa talked a little bit about prenatal vitamins not having a single bioavailability study done on humans or animals that show that it gets into the bloodstream and does what it says it's going to do, yet that's the mainstream in our nation as far as prenatal care. So we absolutely, and the whole goal in taking a vitamin is that you get from that vitamin what you didn't get from food. But if you can get it from food, then that's always the best option. So one last thing before we wrap up, Karisa, will you just tell us a little bit about, because I don't know, some of the people that may be watching this maybe do want an extra stream of income, or maybe could use an extra $500 a month, or maybe, do want the passion that we have for something in life. I know I feel, and I think you feel too, that I really found myself through this business, even though I didn't know that I needed the business. And so, it's so easy to get caught in the grind of being a mom and a wife, and, we're a lot of times the last person that we take care of. But will you just share a little bit about how the business has blessed you and what you've been able to do because of the business?
Yeah, like we said earlier, and I don't think any of us on this Zoom call that work with Juice Plus and share Juice Plus really ever intended on really making this a business. I know I don't want to speak for anybody else on here, but I know for myself, that was the last thing I wanted to do. Like I said, when Michala introduced it, I was at a fragile point in my life, and I didn't want another thing on my plate. I considered myself busy enough, And the cool thing is this, I'm going to back up real quick. And the other thing is like, I'm a kind of an introverted personality, and I wasn't going to go out and sell anything. But the beauty of the business is we're sharing the gift of health. And it took me a bit of time to see that. But, I just kind of got lost in that. We were developing our own story and seeing how it was benefiting our family, and just learning. I mean, to get paid to learn, and blessing others with the knowledge that we get, and never knowing, I never ever was aware of how powerful fruits and vegetables were. And it's God's pharmacy, in a capsule. And it's just, there's so much value there. And people don't know how important food is. And I just feel like we're on an incredible mission. And I have met the most phenomenal people along the way, all these girls on the call. And, our team is growing, and I never was the numbers person. And before I know it, we've been having a blast doing this. And next thing you know, you are getting a paycheck. And the paycheck reflects the number of lives that we're touching. And that's the most rewarding part. I get goosebumps thinking about it, because I'd be doing this paycheck or no paycheck.
Yeah.
But that's how big our passion is. And this is what I was put on this earth to do. So I'm going to keep on going. And the cool thing is that it's allowed me to stay home with my boys, and it's allowed me to do things that we normally wouldn't have ever been able to do. So we're really blessed.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. I used to say that I would never be a good stay-at-home mom, because I was a better mom that I was at the pharmacy 3 days a week, and I was at home 2 days a week, or 4 days, however many days a week with them. But now that I am home full-time with them, it is just the biggest blessing, because I get to talk to you all throughout the day, and I also get to be at home with them. So, and this time is totally precious. I mean, they're never going to be this age again. So you have really heard our hearts, I hope, tonight. We are absolutely genuine in everything that we've said tonight. And I just want to leave you with a little snippet about our culture. Our culture really stands for 6 things. Number 1 is longevity. Juice Plus has been around for 23 years. There's the second thing is authenticity. We are who we say we are. There's never been a recall for Juice Plus. There's never been a lawsuit. I mean, it is just totally authentic. The third thing we stand for is the community, and you've just gotten a fraction of the community tonight in these girls. But it is an absolutely amazing thing to be working along with like-minded people who really just want people to be healthy. The fourth thing is quality. It, like I had said before, and Chris has said before, it has 36 published clinical research studies. In order to get a pharmaceutical drug approved to the market, you only need 2 studies on the intended population, and it only has to be 65% effective. So to me, that fruits and vegetables have this many studies that show these amazing things is absolutely eye-opening. And anyway, we're just so happy to be sharing it. As a pharmacist, I always asked people, and actually kind of got a kick out of these 3 questions, because I feel like I've been approached about everything. I feel like maybe there's a few newer things that I haven't been now that I'm not in the pharmacy every day. But my 3 questions were always, is it safe in pregnancy? Is it safe in cancer and chemo patients? And would you give it to your kids? And I had never had a single person say yes to all 3 of those answers. And the fact that Juice Plus is studied in cancer patients at MD Anderson, that we have a pregnancy study, and we have the largest children's health study in over 1 million kids of anything anywhere in the world. So that got me right there. Along with the quality, we have a thing called NSF certification. And basically that says 3 things. That says that what is in the capsule is on the label. There's nothing on the label that's not in the capsule. And third, and most importantly, that it does no harm. And so that's really important to me as a mom, but also for Olympic athletes or collegiate athletes or whatever. They know that whatever test they're going to have to take to pass, they're going to pass, because it's all in that certification there. The 5th thing is simplicity. We only have 4 products. We talked about the Tower Garden. We talked about the complete protein powder, which is like the gas that you put in your car. We talked about the Juice Plus, which is like the oil that you put in your engine. And I drove a 78 LTD for 6 years, and I'm a good example that you can drive a car on little or no oil for a while, but eventually it seizes up, and that's what happened to Mama Moose. And then we also have a protein bar that is like an awesome granola bar that you can have for a snack or a meal or whatever. And then the 6th thing is being approachable. We really are one team, one mission, and so we all share with the same exact passion, and our goal is just to help people feel better. So with that, we're going to end this call. So thank you guys so much for giving us a half hour of your time, and we really appreciate you.